I think there's no doubt that the most impactful letter of my life was, in fact, a telegram of only about 9 words, and it utterly changed the course of my entire existence. Without it, I very much doubt I'd be sitting here. I'd be more likely in a police cell or dead or something, I don't know. But it said, after a long period of my being expelled from schools and going to prison, indeed, and various other things, I'd worked hard and pushed myself through lessons in order to try and get into a particular university. Cambridge, which is the one I wanted most to go to. And I took the exam, paying for the person to invigilate me, and I got a telegram. And I didn't know what it could mean. And it just said, "Congratulations, awarded scholarship, Queen's College, senior tutor." And that was it. I was never the same again. It utterly, completely changed me. For good or ill, I'm not to say, but there you are. I suppose in the future, I can't really cast my mind to the future very well. I never have been able to. To the past, there are, I suppose, the one that most crosses my mind is to Oscar Wilde in Paris, to let him know that every year and decade that passed, his reputation would grow and grow and grow until he would become the symbol of art, and he would be on shopping bags for bookshops, and he would be on students' walls as in the poster, and he would be the Prince of Bohemia. He died in a sense of complete shame, thinking that the world would utterly condemn him forever. And it's so wonderful that, of course, he is, after Shakespeare in many countries around the world, the most read English language author, but terrible that he never knew that that was ever going to be. So I would just want to write and assure him of that his future and his reputation would only grow. I think the letter is important, particularly, if I may say so, in England, because the only alternative to a letter is a conversation, either by telephone, and I think we'll look back on the telephone era as a very short and possibly unhelpful era in human communication. It's very recent, it's only 100 or so years old that telephones were around, and hardly anybody uses them to talk anymore. They use texts and they use emails, and occasionally they actually use pens and pencils and biros. And I think the reason that they are so much more satisfactory is that whenever you talk to someone directly, issues of education, class, gender, race, background, all come into play. And therefore, Britain, whose national emotion is embarrassment, we find it embarrassing to talk, especially to strangers or people we don't really know that well, to reveal our true selves. But in letters, you get a letter from someone who you just maybe writing an email and about some problem you've got with a, I don't know, a washing machine you bought from them. And if it's an email, they're so much more amusing, so much more self-aware, so much more rueful, and all because you can go back and you can check it and change it, you can alter it, you can do a fair copy if you do it by hand when you've done all the crossings out. So it's just as you want it. It can be as short as you want it. I quoted in the evening of reading the marvellous line of Mark Twain's where he says in a letter to someone, "I'm sorry this letter is so long. I didn't have time to write a shorter one," which is fantastically true. We all recognise that. And I think that's the magic of the letter, is that the true self is revealed, whereas face-to-face we try and disguise ourselves and our accents and who we are. We pull faces that don't work, and we look smug when we don't mean to look smug, and it's one of those paradoxes. Reality and face-to-face contact is a lie, whereas writing from a distance remotely is the truth. That's why literature is so important, and that's why letters are the foundation of literature. A man of letters is a literate person, or a woman of letters.